Everyone, it's 4:30, it's Friday, and this is the Entrepreneur Drinks Podcast. We hope that everyone had a great week, so let's all have a beer or a cash flow cocktail and talk about business, being an entrepreneur, and making money. Hopefully we can help each other solve some problems and learn how to grow our businesses. Thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoy the show and learn some things along the way. It's time to crack open a drink and get started. Let the conversation begin.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Entrepreneur Drinks Podcast. This week, Jimmy invites his brother and his brother-in-law in to talk a little bit about the real estate investing they're doing here in the St. Louis area.
Just like the...
So I'm going to... Next
He's
year,
always been fascinated by the digestive system.
Exactly.
Okay.
That is really sort of where we focus. But I'm going to do a fellowship in surgical oncology. So my eventual goal is to operate just on like liver, pancreas, colon cancer, stomach cancer, that kind of stuff. So so all over the abdomen essentially, but operating mainly just for cancer.
Like he loves administering colonoscopies to people.
I'm sure.
It's the highlight of his day.
That is not something I enjoy.
But as a child, you probably enjoyed fart jokes a lot then.
For sure.
Yeah, our dad used to have us
Still
pull his
do.
finger and shit like that.
Mhm.
He still does it to us.
So I guess I have to ask the question: so you said that you don't really ever want to retire, don't ever want to stop working.
Yeah.
If money wasn't an issue, would you just
So if
just
I won
like
the
doing
lottery today, I would still work. No
Really?
question.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How about you?
All right, Ryan, introduce yourself.
I'm Ryan Campbell.
Honey Bun Campbell.
Honey Bun Campbell. I've got a job right now, and I do some side work on investing in real estate. Kind of got a 5-year plan to get myself out of my current W-2 and become a full-on entrepreneur in real estate, buy and hold rentals, and contracting, construction on the side as well.
Cool. Tell us a little bit about your job.
I'm a field service engineer for a company, and we travel from all across the country to different coal-fired power plants, and we put a system in that reduces the emissions coming out of the stack when they burn the coal.
Interesting. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So now these two buy long-term rentals together, and they can't find inventory. So
Neither
we're going
can
to
we.
We're going to try to solve a problem today. Would you guys say your most pressing problem is inventory right now?
Yes.
The last, we probably have only been doing this for a little more than a year, but when we
Right.
first, even just a year ago, it was a different market. I mean, we were finding houses for $50,000, whenever we wanted to. Whenever we had the cash, we bought another house. And all of a sudden, it's like it just dried up.
So now we have two of the premier wholesalers
Yeah.
in this city. How do they solve their problem, fellas?
So forget about last year, and you're gonna have to pay $75,000 for the same house.
Yeah.
I mean that's the only
It
solution.
really jumped by 33%.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, in our zip codes, houses, we bought a house for 45
I wouldn't
grand.
say 33%, but
It's pretty crazy.
it's pretty crazy.
It's pretty close. I mean, you can't if you're talking about Florissant, Hazelwood, those
No,
kind of areas. where you
they only buy in South City.
I do very little with South City. Dave, you might know a little bit more.
Like in the good zip codes in
Yeah.
South City, so it's just
like which give me some
one,
zip codes.
109 and 139 is where all our houses are.
109 and 139. Yeah, inventory's it's tough there. I mean, people are they're coming in with multiple offers on them when they hit the market.
Yep.
There's very few off-market properties.
Yeah,
It's getting difficult.
it is. Yeah.
You know, absolutely. Are you guys making offers on listed properties at all, like that have sat?
Like low ball offers.
It's not necessarily lowball, but like coming in at 70 or 80% of a property that's been on the market for over 100 days.
We haven't really tried that, no.
I mean, that's probably what I would do if I were you guys.
Yeah.
Just because it's on the market and it hasn't sold in 100 days doesn't mean that there's something wrong with that property.
Sure.
It's.
You guys look at the house before you.
And if you're
write an
willing to
offer?
do the work on it,
Always.
then who gives a shit if it needs a bunch of work, right?
I mean, that's the
we
ideal
like
property.
to buy them.
Something that needs a ton of work.
Yeah, but what do you guys usually spend on a property when you buy it, and then also?
I mean,
second part of that
the numbers
question
we
is-
shoot for are we want to be like in the 80s all in, and then we want to rent it for about $1,200 a month. That's kind of an ideal
Okay.
property for us. So
Okay.
most of them we've bought between 50 and 65, and then we put between 20 and 30 in, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Three beds and 2 beds mostly.
2
you have any
ones mostly,
fours?
and then some 3-2s.
3-2s?
No
2
fours.
1s and 3 2s, yep.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just think that the prices have gone up. I mean, that's
Yeah.
part of the market, so it
I mean,
sucks because you
I think-
can't find stuff to meet your.
I think the interesting question in St. Louis, I mean, I live out of town, but I obviously watch and know the St. Louis market.
Where do you live?
I live in North Carolina right now. I'm at Fort Bragg, which is the Army post there. It seems like there might be real growth in the city of St. Louis. Maybe not in North County and stuff, but there's like tech money moving into St. Louis City, and there's some strange things going on near like Dogtown and the Grove and all that.
Did you guys see
stuff.
that article?
Yeah, it's exciting.
St. Louis is like the #1 town for millennials.
Yeah.
1 or 2 towns.
For millennials, meaning
Yeah.
that there's more of them here than in other places, or
They're moving.
With growth?
they're moving here?
Yeah.
Well, we've got a pretty strong like tech sector, right? We've
Right.
got little bubbles,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense.
Our tenants, like, we got multiple tenants that are either like grad students or in the tech realm, and
And
there's
then
just
SLU
I guess
is
the
about
cost
to
of
put
living is
this
probably pretty
this
cheap here,
huge
too.
hospital,
Right.
right? So the medical sector is going to grow in the city. So the question for this is all long term for me, right? So I don't care if we buy 2 houses this year or 6. It's not really going to affect me that much. I look at this as my like 20-year retirement plan. So for me, it's like maybe I should just sit on the sidelines right now. But in St. Louis, if this growth is real, then it's worth it to spend an extra 10 or 15%. So that's the question: is this 2006 all over again, or is some of this growth real? Because St. Louis really is kind of coming up. So I don't know.
I don't have the answer to that.
Why are you guys at inventory?
Same thing. I mean, we can't put in offers high enough to win the deals that we can still resell it to somebody like you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if we bring you a property, so let's talk about the one you said. Hey, you've got that one up in Ferguson for 65 or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can't buy it cheap enough anymore. So I mean, you kind of kid, but it's like, well, sorry.
So what is your guys' alternative plan?
But again, you just got to keep making offers, keep buying houses a little bit higher. Everybody, I mean, again, it's the market is creeping up. I mean,
Yeah.
what alternative is there?
Owner finance from the seller, sandwich lease option, stuff like that. I mean, the reason I love lease options is because I love owner financing from sellers because there's no skin in the game. There's maybe a little down payment for me, but that's about it. Or because I mean, isn't the whole point of why you do subject twos is because there's not enough spread in the deal?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, we'll do subject twos if they're just willing to do subject twos.
Okay.
So it really doesn't. I really don't give a shit if there's a big spread in the deal or not. I mean, obviously, if there's bigger spread, the better. But I mean, we've come across people that just say, "Listen, I just want to get out of this property," and like it to me, it's just not making that next payment is the most important thing.
Right.
And oftentimes they are skinny. I'm not going to sit here and act like I can get a 50K
Yeah.
spread on a subject two.
And what are you guys seeing from the sellers? Do they know that they have?
Oh,
something
everybody
valuable?
thinks the market's hot right now. I mean,
even
everywhere.
some like owner of some distressed
Well, they always did.
dump.
They always did. But I mean, yeah. I mean, North County. Honestly, that's my opinion. I feel like everyone knows the market has heated up. I mean, because like you said, that article that came out recently about St. Louis being one of the top 10 and all this stuff. Like, there's been probably 10 articles this year similar to that have spread across our social media feeds. Like, I've seen it multiple times. I'm sure you have too. I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen multiple articles about how hot St. Louis is.
Well, when I
So-
see something hit the Riverfront Times, I instantly think it's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be wrong because they did an article last December of 15 saying December of 16 would be great for St. Louis. And so maybe those hippies aren't full of shit.
Well, again, or they're just picking up after the fact. They've heard it 10 times. I don't know. I mean, the market is going up. I mean, you can't argue with it. I mean, we've all said
Yeah.
that prices are going up. So, I mean, that is pretty factual, I would say.
I don't feel like the banks are lending any more or less than they were a year or two ago. I feel like it hasn't gotten the lending guidelines haven't gotten any easier in the last 6 to 12 months or 18 months. Do you guys feel that way?
Our
No.
tenant buyers are grinding it out, dude. Like, it's not like there's ninja loans. Because I'm assuming before the last crash, the ninja loans were probably going to some of our tenant buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that was what was inflating a lot of the prices.
Right.
That's still not happening. I
It's
think
not
money's
happening.
running
Well,
away.
you've also got the seasonal buying. I mean, right now we're coming into spring,
That's a
Yeah.
great
so you've
point.
always got people,
It's always
more people
gonna be
looking right now.
hotter in the spring than
I
any
mean,
other time of year.
So in
Right.
addition to the
Of
fact that we saw a little uptick I think you've got that as well. I don't know if maybe it's also we've got a lot of the foreclosures and short sale stuff is kind of dried up.
It's kind of dried
and
up.
we're starting to see
That's
a lot
a
of
great
that dry
point.
up.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
we'll still hit a
Because obviously
short
the
sale
banks
every
are
now
not
and then,
taking
but-
much back right now.
Right.
I mean, I think money. I think a little bit is money is running away from Wall Street. 20 years ago, some asshole
Why is the
doctor.
market?
But 20 years ago, some asshole
Yeah, the
doctor
market
like
went up
you
800
would have
points in the
been.
last 3 days.
People think that's what I mean. Everybody thinks it's bullshit.
Maybe people are. I don't know, but you can't argue that people are cutting and running when the market's still going up. I mean,
Yeah, the market is.
somebody's pouring money into the market.
I mean, I can argue it's cutting and running because I've gotten $3 million in private money
Yeah, but
from self-directed IRAs.
Were you trying to get private money 3 years ago, though?
Yeah.
4 years ago?
No.
maybe it's because entrepreneur drinks, though. I mean,
Entrepreneur
lot
drinks
of it.
could be doing
maybe,
it. That,
maybe this podcast is making all the
They-
difference.
that could absolutely be doing it.
This podcast might take the stock market down. I don't know.
That's what I'm trying to do here.
So every once in a while, you want to beat up your little brother, even though he's a surgeon?
Huh?
I said every once in a while, you want to beat him up.
If
even
I
though-
raise my hand around him in a close enough vicinity, he'll still flinch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will too.
He did threaten to break my hands at a wedding. We were both pretty drunk.
I did something to him. He slapped me, and instead of just kicking the shit out of him right there, I just threatened to break his hands.
That's kind of a big one for a surgeon, isn't it?
It'd be a big deal.
Anyway,
so
back
there's
on
lots of
topic.
factors I think
Yeah.
that are going into play to this market, though, guys. I think that we're having a seasonal thing going on. I think that the banks aren't lending as much, as they were in 2008, so you can't really relate it to that.
Like the ninja loan, and
The
I'm
ninja
reading
loans
a
are
book.
not here.
I'm reading a book by the way, right now called The Great Deformation, and the guy claims that the whole collapse was absolute bullshit. Like it would not have happened. It would have stayed contained inside of Wall Street. Like regular schmucks like us would not have been affected whatsoever.
But the housing
Well,
market
that's not
crashed
true though, man,
before.
because they were
Housing market
offering loans that
But the people,
would adjust after 5 years, and then people they weren't even qualifying you for the loans that they were giving.
right?
It was a signature loan. You were essentially
You had a pulse and
no
a signature.
a signature,
And a
you had
social
no
security
money
number.
down, and no collateral backing it. You didn't even have to show that you had a job to get the loan.
Yeah.
There was people that had 3 and 4 houses, and they weren't even rental properties. They just would own 3 and 4
Yeah.
houses. That had no business owning one house.
But that still shouldn't bring down 320 million Americans. The
Right.
guy's theory is that the Wall Street people, did a Chicken Little, said the sky is falling, so they could convince everyone to bail them out because they were going to get hammered on the housing market. But like on The Big Short, the CDOs they had,
Mhm.
they were all going to lose on that, right?
Mhm.
But they deserved to lose. But it wasn't going to affect the entire economy.
It may be. I don't know. I'm not an economist or.
Not
Caterpillar,
Caterpillar and fucking GE, they still had capital equipment was still going to function in the morning.
Oh, absolutely.
So their whole
Yeah, but I think it's more of a systemic thing to where. There you go. I think it's more of a systemic thing to where it's people just get scared in general, and they're going to pull their money out of investing in financial markets
but then
and or real estate if there's a big scare. Just like the run on the banks and
we bought in
the
06 and
20s.
we were in underwater on all our properties, right? We still own them and they still cash flow. So who gives a shit?
right.
So that's it's called the Great Deformation. But his whole thing is it was not going to be systemic. But the powers that be need to convince the average Joe that we're all connected and that if things are too big to fail.
Right.
So it's just a theory. I think he's right, but I generally anything that's
It's just hard to prove that. I'm not arguing with
Yeah.
you and to say that that it goes either way. It's just really hard to prove it's a theory.
Yeah,
Put yourself in the shoes of the Wall Street bankers. If I was a Wall Street banker
and I didn't do
I
anything,
was
and
a-
I created nothing,
I was
and
the
I'm really not
president
that.
and CEO of one of those major banks, yeah, I'd want to bail out too, man.
Fuck yeah.
I would for sure.
Well, they were bailing out consumers with credit card debt. Once the crash comes, everybody wants to convince that they're the
Yeah, remember whenever we all got a check from Obama for $800 back in did you ever get that check or $600 in the mail?
Yeah, stimulus check.
Stimulus
Yeah.
check. Every
Oh,
American
yeah.
got a
Like,
fucking
like,
stimulus check.
2000
You remember that shit?
No.
It was for like $600 or $700.
Yeah, it was in like 2000.
I think it was dependent on your income, wasn't it?
It might have been.
How much taxes you paid.
Right,
or
but I
something.
mean, I remember like everybody I knew got a fucking check in the mail.
Thanks, Obama.
It just doesn't. It was like the weirdest thing, and they were wanting it to like all go into the economy, but most people that had
Just bought lottery tickets.
right, well, or I mean, it wasn't used for what they wanted it to be used for.
The only thing I really remember about Obama was the Cash for Clunkers program, like the stimulus program.
Which at the end of the
That was
day,
the only thing I remember.
destroyed the auto market.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the idea? Just to clean up the air? Wasn't it trying to get all these old cars off the
Clean
road?
up the air and giving it stimulus to the auto
To
industry.
the auto
To
industry,
get people to buy
right?
new
Right.
cars.
Okay.
It was the stupidest thing, though. Because I used to, back then, I used to flip cars, and you'd go to the junkyard, and it'd be like a Cash for Clunkers car. They blew the motor up before they brought it to the junkyard, just so, nobody could use it.
Don't take this personally, but you look like the kind of guy who would flip cars or work at a salvage yard. That's just the guy you're the guy I meet every
Right.
time I'm at, an auto auction.
I was always flipping.
Yeah, I believe
always
it.
something, yeah.
Yeah.
So can I talk about some shit that's on my mind?
You can
Please,
park
let's
cheap,
hear it.
which is great. It's
Okay.
like flipping a house.
I've been listening to this dude called Thaddeus Russell, and he wrote a great book called The Renegade History of the United States.
You sent me that link today, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you sent me?
And I read the book 3 or 4 years ago, and it's absolutely fucking hilarious.
Okay.
This guy's thesis in the book, because there's the big People's History of the United States, Howard's Inn. You guys ever heard about that shit?
I don't really read much.
Yeah, this guy was a fucking communist, and he was it doesn't paint America as a great country, right? But this guy kind of splits the middle, and he says we start with the Puritan work ethic, and then you had a bunch of immigrants and slaves and just people in Appalachia who just didn't give a fuck about anything.
Who's the author of this book?
Thaddeus Russell. And prostitutes and pirates and all kinds of shit. And he said America is a much better place since these renegades got in and started controlling everything instead of the Puritans. Because it would be an absolute miserable existence if the Puritans controlled the whole country.
I just assume we wouldn't have entrepreneur drinks.
Well, I'm going to link it into this. I'm
pretty confident we wouldn't, right? The Puritans, they weren't big drinkers, were they?
And so what this Thaddeus Russell guy, and I was thinking about entrepreneurs as I'm listening to this guy, what he hates is the Puritan work ethic. That there's a virtue in just working to work.
See, and
let's go around the room, and I want to get everybody's opinion on, is there virtue at getting up at the ass crack of dawn and being busy just to be busy? Dave.
Now, what do you mean by virtue? Define that.
Is it good? Is it a good idea?
Is it a good idea? No, I don't think it's a good idea. I work to make income, and that's it. It's the sole purpose of working. It's backed by money.
Is it a means to an end, or is it an end in itself? Right? I guess that's what we're going to talk about.
Well, once I hit my goal, which is on my phone, $100,000 a month in passive income, I look at it 100 times a day.
Okay.
You're not going to find me doing anything but just doing whatever the fuck I want to do.
What day of the month do you hit that?
When I want to do.
But Dave, I challenge you to this though. You don't need 100,000.
Mike's bringing the heat.
You don't need 100. You don't need $100,000 a month to live a lifestyle that you would be comfortable.
No, I only need about 10.
You probably need 2.
Dude,
No,
I need 10.
I
need 10 and I have 4 kids.
You have 4 kids.
Time out.
Yeah, but
Dave, I know you very well.
Dude, $2,000? No way. Are you kidding me?
You could move to Belize or one of
I
those.
would never.
10
Why would I want to move to Belize though?
You know what Bob's strike number was? The passive income he needed to support his expenses.
$4,000?
$1,500 a month.
That was about what mine was.
That's
it was
living
nothing.
in the
You
States.
can't eat for $1,500 a month,
Dude,
guys.
Bob is the most patient, cheap person you'll ever meet, and in the video we did a couple days ago, he's just like, look, my strike number was $1,500. But if you're a single dude, you could easily
Super easy.
No.
Were
You
you
pay
married?
off. You pay off your debts, and literally
You
what
guys
I
want
need
to know what
live.
my strike number is? I'll tell you right now. Let me pull up my budget.
While he does that, so
Yeah.
working just for the sake of working, do I think that is a virtuous thing? Not necessarily, but I think it beats the alternative. It's like if you take it to the extreme, working just to work versus
What about just sitting on your ass and being
just
a
to sit
server?
on your ass. So I think that working just to work has more value than sitting on your ass just to sit on your ass.
But what if you're not asking the government for any money and you're just like, I just want to live kind of a shitty existence, but I'm fine with it. Maybe I'll smoke a few bowls a day, but I'm not going to ask anything from anybody. I don't have a problem with that type of thing.
Again, so it's
Okay, my strike number is $6,903.08.
So about $7,000 a month.
$7,000 a month.
Right.
And that includes everything. There's 89 line items on my budget. So it's quite a few line items.
Yeah, and you're
it
not.
goes in from everything from like shopping on Amazon to eating to dry cleaning, my Netflix bills on here, getting my hair cut.
great. So everything's on there.
Right.
Everything.
We got it.
But I mean,
It's a budget.
But it's yeah. So
got
essentially, what I did was I took the last 12 months of
Yeah.
statements and I went back and I crossed all the shit off that was like not really necessary, and then but the things that like I still did that I still wanted to do, like I have a $20 budget a month for valet because occasionally I'll go to dinner and I'll just fucking valet my
Right.
car, and I don't want to give that up.
Yeah.
So that's in my budget. So my strike price to keep the lifestyle that I live today
Which is
next month would be $7,000.
right.
Right, but
And
the
that's-
lifestyle you live today, though, you're also working 60 hours a week. Is that
Yeah,
really?
so that strike price would go up because my entertainment budget would go way the fuck up too.
Maybe.
Because I can't go see a movie every fucking 6 hours.
So
if I didn't do shit all
finish
day,
your-
I'd go to the movie theater every
Finish
day.
your thought about how. Finish your thought about how
Yeah,
you
but
could
I'm
be
saying
fine
that.
on 2G's
Right.
month.
So my point is,
And you don't. So you kind of are on the side. It's a virtue.
I do. I think I favor the side that it is a virtue to work. I think that being lazy just to be lazy, like that's great. So let's talk about what you're saying.
Right.
Like you're not going to take from the government. You're going to smoke a couple bowls. You're paying for your own stuff. That's cool. But there are still people who are starving in the U.S. in St. Louis.
Yeah, but you're
Like,
never
you
going to
could-
be able to fix that.
I'm not
Randall.
saying you couldn't, but let's just say that you literally have met your strike price. You're content in life. You're taking care of your kids. And you've got 30 hours a week to sit there and watch Netflix. Well, instead of doing that, wouldn't it be better to go and work towards something like service oriented? My argument is that yes, it is. So
What do
yeah,
you
I
mean
think
by service oriented?
well, helping someone who can't afford to work. I mean, going to find a homeless person that needs help getting a job or just can't figure it out on their own. I mean, there's plenty of people that need help.
Kareem, what do you think? I know you have something to say on this because
Yeah, bring it in.
the person we're describing right here, who's just like, I don't take from anybody, but I don't do much. I know you hate his fucking guts. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
I don't necessarily hate his guts, but I think an adult male is, you have to have something that gives your life purpose. So that may not be a job, but you got to have something, right? Whether it be volunteer work or dedicating your life to your kids, that's fine. But something's got to give your life purpose. You can't just wake up every day with nothing on your list of things to do except smoking a bowl. I mean, you can, sure, but I think at some point that either you're just
We called that college.
you're gonna hate.
Yeah, exactly.
That was fun for a
I'm
while.
beyond that.
But I also think that a lot of these things you talk about, it's very nuanced, right? So it takes an adult understanding of life to say, I don't need to work. But when you're teaching your 10-year-old what to do, I think teaching your 10-year-old a Puritan work ethic is the right thing to do. And then when they're older, they can understand what it means to work just enough and then to take some time off. But if you try to teach your 10-year-old, you don't need to work, just get results, they're going to cheat. And some point in life, that's probably going to catch up with them.
By cheat, you mean lie, cheat, or steal? Or
I think
cheat,
so.
do you think they find a solution,
Yeah,
like
'cause
hiring a VA?
No, but
Yeah, that's not really cheating. That's just being
There's
smart.
nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But a 10-year-old is there. I think the easy answer for a 10-year-old, if you tell them, listen, just get an A, I don't care how you get there, they're probably going to cheat.
You know your brother well.
Yeah, I do.
You're saying like, hey, if you were a 10-year-old, and that's probably something Jimmy can relate
Exactly.
to.
That's about what he is.
Yeah,
But
I like that.
And we've had this argument many times. I think that every argument you make about how bad college is and how bad work is,
I can't stand college.
It's super counterfactual.
College is a waste. I'll
Yeah.
give you on that.
But it makes no sense for you to make that point because you went to West Point. You went to the college of all colleges, and now you're where you are in your late 30s, and maybe it's because of that. If you take a big left turn at 17 years old, maybe you don't end up.
I think
where
if
you
I
are.
would enlisted and gone in the Rangers, I'd be in the same spot.
It's such an impossible argument for you to
Yeah,
make.
it's hard to.
How
it's
many
hard to
enlisted
determine.
soldiers? How many enlisted soldiers end up in a totally different place.
Dude, there was a guy I was in Ranger Battalion with that was in Shark Tank like
Sure.
6 months ago.
Right. I know.
He was enlisted, dude.
I know. I mean, there's
The
always
seat
the
to left
exception that
says
proves the
college
rule, right?
just lectures birds on how to fly. I think when I was listening to an audiobook and I was driving on the highway, I had to pull over when I heard that because I was laughing so fucking hard. But
it's very easy for you to say that after
the
you've gone
politicians
through the
want you to think you have to have a college education.
I don't think you have to.
But no one looks at
not
like
what
the
I'm saying.
shitheads at Harvard. The guys who go smoke 3 bowls a day and teach kindergarten.
Yeah.
And they only look
Fucking Zuckerberg, am I right?
But he dropped out.
But you're
They
not.
claim they're
Harvard.
dropouts, but they're not going to claim they're kindergarten teachers.
But you're not. Your side of the argument isn't claiming the 80% of non-college graduates that do terrible. You know, you're pointing at the 5% that do well and saying, "See, you can do it." But what about the 80% of people that don't go to college and make less than $40,000 a year? How do you,
Well,
how do you
I'm going to
teach
go back
your
to
10-year-old?
Thaddeus Russell, and
Yeah.
the demographic of this country that he hates the most are the Caucasian, college-educated morons.
Sure.
And you're going to have to listen to his podcast to get the full argument.
Yeah,
But
I mean, it's
Ryan-
incredibly.
Hey,
wasteful.
let's plug his podcast and let's see if we can get Thaddeus on here sometime. What's his podcast?
It's the
called, you know?
Unfiltered podcast.
The Unfiltered Podcast. All right, Thaddeus, we're coming for you.
We're coming for you.
We want you on Entrepreneur
And
Drinks.
listen to his podcast because it's ridiculous. And
It's pretty good.
his book, Renegade History of the United States, is incredible. And I'm assuming he wasn't writing it thinking like a veteran and like a family guy and a Catholic guy, because a lot of this stuff our family holds sacred. He's just insulting the whole book. I was like, well, fuck, that's somewhat of a compelling argument.
Yeah, I think that's a great book for you to read when you're 30 years old. But I don't think it's a good book for your 10-year-old. That's my point, right? When you can understand nuance, then you can read that book
That's a good
and do
point.
great. But
Because you do hate lazy youth.
Absolutely.
You can't.
Sloth is a sin. I mean, it's in my mind probably the greatest sin.
All right, so
I hate
Ryan,
sloth.
you have a GED.
Yeah.
You're doing well financially.
You like to sit on your ass, am I right?
No, Ryan is
You
Ryan.
work?
Ryan,
But
you
Ryan
work.
has a Puritan work ethic. He just hated
He
school.
does.
That's the thing.
That was
you know.
very true.
Can you
Yeah.
tell our
I thought you were-
audience about what happened when you got braces? Because I think this is, you just hate being told what to do.
Yeah,
You guys are going to love this story.
They put braces on me when I was,
Twice.
3 times, and they kept popping brackets off, and they kept hurting my teeth, so I just ripped them out with pliers one day. I went back. My mom got me into this college slew. They would put your braces on for free. She's so psyched
Oh
about
my
it, and I
God.
went back after I ripped them out. They said they kicked my whole family out of the program. My mom.
But a guy like Ryan, to break
Is that
you
hard,
down,
breaking those off with fucking pliers,
I
man?
just popped them off, man. I don't know. It wasn't a big
he
deal
doesn't
back
give a
then.
fuck, dude. You hate being told what to do.
Pretty much, yes.
So school was never going to be a place for you.
No,
Ever.
yeah, I always knew it, yeah.
Yeah,
And my teachers hated me because I would test well, but I just didn't care.
yeah.
And if it didn't interest me, I just had nothing. I didn't have anything to do with it.
You're going to walk out.
Yeah, I literally just quit going to school when I was.
See, because I think the counter argument to your argument is somebody should have put their arm around a kid like Ryan and said, just look, dude, school's not for you, but you're still a very talented person who can make shit happen.
Absolutely. My point is not that everyone needs college.
There was no
that is
lecturer who
no
could
way
get
my
this bird
point.
to fly at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
But I think
So I think we all agree that college isn't the answer for everyone.
Right.
I think
It's
we
for
all
an
agree on
asshole
that.
that's a doctor or like a real engineer
Well,
or like
special-
a physicist.
Right.
Or,
When you specialize in certain things, you need higher education.
But
Right.
there is a large subset of people who go to college as sort of like a buffer, and whether that's a good use of $60,000 of your money.
Now, what do
every
you
year,
mean by buffer? Define buffer.
you're 18 years old. You
You
don't
don't
really
know what
you're
you wanna
gonna
do.
So you
Love it.
check the box, and then when you get out,
Damn,
everybody says,
16-hour-long
everybody says,
audiobook
look,
of
he's
renegade
got a
history.
diploma. I'll
You'll
hire
love
him.
Yeah,
I
Should I
mean,
buy it?
Dave, you'll love it.
No,
dude.
that's exactly what I did. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Fuck it, I'll go to college. Everybody else in my family went to college. I'll just go to college.
And
And
it's
where did
already-
you go again?
Southwest Missouri
You
State.
guys both went to Southwest,
I
right?
went to Mizzou.
Oh, you went to Missouri?
And it's our society's sort of acceptable thing that says this person is reliable.
Well, and they give you a
and
pat
can
on-
show up.
and they give you a pat on the
and
back
can-
and
yeah, can
attaboy.
complete something. Ryan, when he showed up, he had to kind of prove that he was reliable because he didn't have that piece of paper, right? I mean,
Very true.
that's something that
Have
you
you
had to
ever
kind of-
regretted it?
No. No, I mean, I've been in situations where I felt awkward being around a lot of people and everybody's talking about their college graduates. And I'm just like, oh. I did go back to a tech school and got a 2-year, but I quit high school.
So the only reason that I feel bad for people that didn't go to college is because it was another 4 years to kind of fuck off. Like, you got to dick around for another couple years.
It was fun. I don't look down on anybody that didn't go to
Neither
college,
do
but I
Don't
do
care.
feel that they missed out.
That's exactly
on
the way
the party aspect of it.
It was so fun.
Seriously,
it was so much fun. And I worked
and
through
that
college.
may be like a dick thing to say.
Yeah.
But like I went to college 4 years at Mizzou, and
But are you in debt?
I had student loans.
my grandparents paid for my college.
No,
so I was fortunate.
So my parents paid for a bit of it, but I had student loans. I mean, I graduated with maybe $30,000, $40,000 in student loans. So I paid for a lot of it. I worked. Like, I didn't have a lot of spending money. My parents were, pretty well off, but not rich.
Right.
So I worked to pay for my beer. I worked to pay off my student loans. It took me probably, I think it was about 4 or 5 years after college to pay it all down.
Mm-hmm.
But I did it. I mean, and again, I thought it was worth it. It was just because it was fun. It really has nothing to do with the degree.
Right.
And
So
to
that
the point-
$40K that was around you, you're like, fuck it, I can make $40K.
Well, I already made it. I already paid it all. No, at that point, no. I was like, I need to do this to get a good job.
No, but
At the time,
Looking
you
back-
thought that though.
Yeah.
when you paid the $40K back, was it that big a deal?
Not
Was
really.
it worth it?
I mean, again, I think it was worth it. The experiences I've had, I'm happy with the choices I've made in
Yeah.
life.
What was the other book you were talking about earlier
Yeah.
about the?
Not Renegade History of the United States?
Yeah, the other one.
Anti-Fragile?
No, the one where we're talking about the guy thought it was all bullshit about the crash.
Oh, The Great Deformation.
I looked that up too.
That one, I don't think there's an audiobook, so I actually had to fucking read it. Which is kind of right.
That sucks.
Well,
Maybe there's an audiobook
Why did
now.
you go back and get a technical?
There is an
degree?
audiobook.
Why did I go back?
You wanted a piece of paper, right?
Yeah, because I went and just got worked in the parts department at the Lexus dealership, and I was like, I got to do something else other than this. Like,
And you needed a piece of paper
David
to
Stockman?
do that.
yeah.
So that's
I
it
did
right
need to
there.
go back.
I mean,
So that's I don't know if I said this or not. We live in a credentialed society. Like, so that piece of paper is more important than anything else. I've met
But-
so many
Well, don't
idiots.
you think it's
bullshit.
crumbling?
I think it's
Oh,
crumbling
bullshit.
right
I've
now,
met
though.
so many
36-hour
idiots.
book. An audiobook, 36 hours.
You're going to have to earn it.
I'm gonna have to earn that one.
People, though, are
There's no
definitely
abridged
seeing
version.
No.
that you don't need.
That's a sad thing I'm saying. You're going to earn it by listening to an audiobook.
Right.
Oh, you earned that read.
You're not going to actually read the book.
Well, yeah, but
Dude, if you listen to Atlas Shrugged, I tell people, like, you earned that shit. Like,
Well, I mean, it's the same as college. You earned your
Time on the
4-year
treadmill.
fucking degree. I tell my family all the time that I could go back and I could redo college in 4 months. The entire 4 years
The workload.
in 4 months, because look at it this way: you do 15 hours a semester, which essentially means you're in classrooms for 15 hours a week, roughly, maybe a little more than that, and then that's consists of either 4 or 5 classes. Usually you'll have 1 or 2 tests and then a final. Okay? And I actually went to probably 70 to 80% of the lectures because I actually just enjoyed
what'd you
going and
major in?
listening to people talk about shit.
What'd you major in?
But I majored in financial planning with emphasis in real estate.
Okay, fucking A.
So it wasn't a business degree.
Yeah.
It was like a different thing, but it was financial planning.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like business would have been like finance. I was more in it was just different,
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, I would go to the lectures because I enjoyed listening to the people talk. But when it came test time, I would take, 200 milligrams of Adderall, and I would go to the library for 36 hours, and I would read 8 chapters of the book, and then I would go and I'd get a B. And I was a B and a C student. I got A's occasionally, but I was a B and a C student.
Right.
So I didn't graduate with flying colors,
Yeah.
but I also didn't skim by. I did decent. But, of a semester, I would spend 36 hours studying for 3 or 4 tests right up until the test day, but I wouldn't do a fucking thing prior. So if I were to go back and do the whole college over again, I could just spend 8 hours a day reading a textbook and get through that book in a week and a half. Take the whole course in a week. You could do all 4 years of college in 4 months, maybe 5 months.
Yeah, but that's minus the partying part.
Right.
And
but
the real estate market
I
collapsed if
don't.
you didn't stay there for 4 years.
I get that, and I'm not arguing with you, Mike. You're absolutely right. But the University of Missouri and SLU and Rolla and Harvard, they don't advertise party. They advertise education. So if you're talking about,
Well,
don't
to
think
be
that's true.
fair,
Timmy went to
talking about
college.
the
Timmy went to
education.
college in Boston, so he ran into a few of those schmucks. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I went to went to a school that cost at the time $43,000 a year. I mean, it was, and they absolutely advertised a great college experience. You know, they didn't say your kid's going to get shit-faced every day, right? But
There's going to be plenty of hot chicks here
yeah,
too.
But
Don't even
these
worry
guys
about that.
These guys are competing for students who are going to pay a lot of money, and they absolutely advertise. We have a Division I football team. That means that there's tailgates on Saturdays, and you're going to get, you know, you're going to get a college experience. So I think that they do. They definitely advertise who the graduates that get hired by Fortune 500 companies. For me, it was, you know, what percentage of our applicants get accepted to med school. That stuff, absolutely. But when you really look at it, they are advertising the lifestyle. I mean, Boston College, they advertise, hey, you're going to be in Boston for 4 years. It's going to be awesome. So I think they do. They're advertising, yeah, you're going to get
Okay, but are they?
you're gonna
Okay,
have a
I'm
good
going to
time,
disagree
too.
respectfully.
Yeah.
Are they advertising the party, or are you just interpreting the party by when they say we're in Boston, and you're just like, oh, Boston's a cool city? They're not saying.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. They're not
You're
saying.
looking at
not saying, here's
the
the
bonuses. They're not putting out the pictures of people getting blacked out drunk on campus.
True.
Well,
They're
yeah, but
showing
that's
people walk into class all happy with their book bags.
yeah, but that's like saying the ad for Extends.
Fuck me, I just spent 43
Right.
grand.
When they have a hot chick on the ad for Extends, they're not telling you that you're gonna have hot
Regardless,
chicks.
I don't want to get into an argument. My
Like-
point is that I can go
Right.
back and I can redo the academic part of college. That was my argument in 4 months, and I would
But
do it.
here's my
Yeah,
question.
I mean, like I'd say a year because
No way.
realistically, I
No
mean,
way.
again, it's a 4 years
How
to
long
a
does it take
year.
you to read a textbook, dude? You can read a textbook in 3 days.
I
on
mean, pretty
Adderall
slow.
or
I'm
not
not-
on Adderall?
On Adderall.
How long does it take?
But I'm prescribed it, so I'm not doing saying anything illegal by taking Adderall. I'm prescribed it.
So my
Right.
point
So
is,
I can
But
take
if
it
it
legally.
had
wasn't
very
legally,
different-
would you care?
No, but I'll still
Okay.
take it legally because
We
I'm
have
Does the
prescribed.
prescription say take as much as you need to stay awake for 36 straight hours?
No, but that's my own choice. That's not your coffee.
yeah, so we
here's
had very
the-
different experiences though.
But
because,
I
like,
go in that test with one eye open, but I would it was like you retain it all and then you vomit it all back out of the paper, and then next week you may not even remember half of what you just learned.
yeah, so
you
we
know,
had,
but
we
it's
had
not
totally
any
different
different
experiences though. So I'm not saying I was a good student by any stretch of imagination, but I showed up to probably 98, 99% of the lectures. I never read a text. I mean, not never, but I probably read 2% of the
See, I
books.
actually would read mine. But
Yeah.
I would do it all in a.
So,
I wouldn't do like a chapter a week.
And then Adderall.
Fuck that. I
and
would
then
just go read half the book.
an Adderall binge.
so
Right.
here, but I'm going to brag on myself though. I graduated with honors. I graduated cum laude.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't know, A- or some shit average.
Right.
I don't know fucking shit from since then. Like,
Right.
it doesn't matter.
But I think there's a thing that you're missing too. Do we lose our sound?
Yeah, is this on?
Did we kick the thing?
Oh shit! Did somebody kick that down
yeah,
there
you
again?
might have. Plug that
Oh
back in.
fuck!
Yeah, you can't kick that thing.
That was fucking gold too. We lost it.
Yeah,
Well,
but
Well,
we don't
how
know.
long ago?
How long ago?
We don't know
was
how
it?
long ago we lost.
So we've also, I've
2
got,
minutes in.
this happens too.
Yeah, fuck.
I've got shittier version of the audio right here.
Oh, you got it going?
Yeah, at about 5 minutes in.
We
Okay,
always do
well,
backup.
we're gonna
These
have
guys
to.
are thinkers.
These were just on. These were on.
This is
for
what I
most
love
of it.
about this podcast. We're getting drunk and we're
Yeah.
starting to get into some shit.
Yeah, I don't know. If,
I'll stitch it together. I'll
the
stitch
other-
it together after
so
the
I-
fact.
I
So
can't
I
even
also-
change it at this point.
What do you mean you can't change it?
I get all blacked out. I got to stop the video and
yeah,
restart.
stop it, restart. It's fine. Pause.
I
Nobody
just
says
sat
anything.
down a second ago to get this water.
Yeah, hopefully it didn't go too long, but we're back. All right.
So I would heavily object to the argument of like, I don't use algebra in my day-to-day life, so I didn't learn anything in school.
I learned that in
I think it's
High
ridiculous.
start grade school
A
though.
lot of
It's all-
what you're learning is how to learn. Like
Right.
every day you have to pick up a book
I
and
agree
read
with that.
about your job. You didn't learn anything about real estate in your job, but you have to learn about real estate. And if you had never been forced to sit down
To
and
learn how to
focus
learn.
and
That's a
learn,
great way to
I
word
don't
it.
think you would have been.
I look
you'd
at
be
that
able to
same
do what
way.
you're
Like
doing.
when I
Agree
think of, like,
110%.
geology, I'm like, who gives a shit about the fact that there's 60 different types of rocks out there?
No, I
And I
agree.
learned all those in my class, and it has nothing to do with what I do now. But like,
But you can learn that by 8th grade, guys. Like middle school, you're
You
done.
can't though.
Yes, you can. I
The
honestly,
geology could affect you because when you see a crack in a foundation.
Right.
I make the argument that after middle school, I really don't feel like I learned that much. And because to your argument that you learn to learn,
Yeah.
after that point, I really don't feel like I picked up much else that was important to my daily life. I
I'm
think
not sure
that
a lot of 8th graders could go to a college history course and pass. So there must be some magic So in general surgery
What's a
residency,
maturity, though?
there's this. Maybe it is, but maybe part of colleges or maybe part of high school is becoming mature.
Yeah, I think a lot of colleges
there's-
is becoming mature.
So there's this.
Yeah, nobody wants to fucking hire you whenever you're 19 years old.
Yeah.
They want you to be 22, 23 years old.
So general surgery residency is 6 years long, and we were told multiple times we were junior residents, like just follow the plan, follow the plan, follow the plan, and at the end of it, you're going to be a good surgeon. And we can't exactly tell you which parts are going to make you good. Like, do you need to go watch other people operate? Do you need to operate? Do you need to read at night? I'm not sure. Do it all and have a Puritan work ethic, work really hard, and at the end of it, I don't know how, but there's some magic where you're good at it, right? And you're ready to graduate. And I think that's true of a lot of things in life, and I'm not sure that we are really good at pinpointing what we need out of college, but there's probably something. And when you look at metadata and you look at big data, people who graduate college do a lot better than people that don't, right? And there's
But wait, see,
exceptions to that rule.
that's what the
There's a ton of
politicians
selection
say.
bias.
I
It's
hate
true.
that quote because that's what the politicians say. And
Yeah.
how do you know that those people who are doing better, they're just birds who are going to fly anyway? And so you had a bunch of assholes lecturing those birds how to fly.
Because you have people that started college, whose parents had the money for them to start college and came from the same neighborhoods and drop out of
And
college, and they do worse than the people that graduate. So you look at people who started college, you take just those, right? Drop everybody who couldn't start college.
Right.
You take a lot of the selection bias away, and you look at the people who graduated, the people who didn't, who does best?
But maybe those guys can't even wipe their ass.
How do
Because
they
I
get
think
to
college is so easy that
Anybody
if you
can
can't
get into
graduate, you
college.
probably
But
can't wipe
anybody can
your ass.
graduate college too. College, it's not hard to graduate. Probably the
That was
hardest.
your argument was just that how do they get into college? My point is anyone can get into college.
No, I think getting into college is a harder choke point than graduating for some baseline characteristics to take away selection bias. And then you actually have to stick it out for 4 years to graduate. Maybe that's the magic. I don't know what the magic is, but at some point you got to answer that data, right? You got to look at the data and say, why do people who graduate do so much better than people who drop out?
Because we live in a credentialed society.
Because they're
Okay.
birds
People
and they were going to
think-
fly anyway.
People think that you have a college
That
degree
many
and you're
birds?
better.
Yes, that many birds.
That was kind of like the reason he went back, because people thought you were better because you had a college degree.
Well,
It's bullshit.
Also, it was like,
I'm not arguing.
They
it's not,
give you the
I'm
opportunity.
not arguing it's not bullshit. I think there's a little bit of both, right? I think some of it is the piece of paper, but some of it might be the magic goo. And it's hard for a bunch of people who graduated from college
Magic
to argue
goo.
that the magic goo doesn't work.
You know what this reminds me of is Mike Rowe. So he's pretty big on, or maybe he's not, I don't know.
yeah, there are.
Dirty jobs, but he talks about like the importance of or I guess the difference between the U.S. and like Germany, and I think he shared this video before about how they train people to do jobs that we consider lower. Like it's important to have plumbers and it's important to have electricians.
Yeah.
And those people make just as fucking much money. Like it's, I don't know.
I mean,
know
I
if
think the
agree.
plumber who has his own business and is killing it
Right.
More
is
ice or anything?
did a lot
Some soda
better.
if you're gonna
Can we get a
hit
lot more ice?
The guy who started working at 18.
Yeah, is doing a lot better than some schmuck
Oh.
who paid his $200K or $100K or $40K to get his degree and is now a teller at a bank.
I agree. I know so many skilled tradesmen that just came right out of school and went into apprenticeship and learned their trades, and
And do you?
they're killing it.
Here's my next question, but I need Mike to come back in the room.
But the people in this room aren't plumbers. You guys don't have a specific technical skill that you could learn. You're entrepreneurs. Maybe to be an entrepreneur, and Ryan is again the exception that proves the rule, but maybe some of all this crap that you guys have to synthesize and put together, maybe some of the skills you picked up in college help you with that. You guys got to put a lot of
I
numbers
think
together.
every day I pick up a new skill that helps me the following day.
Well,
So I don't disagree with what you said.
at West Point, like, people are like, how are you not organized? How do you not do shit? You went to West Point. And I'm like, I think I am who I am in spite of that. Well, Mikey, and he's nice.
this up. This
Oh, okay.
Just drop it on the
Yeah, but are
ground.
you sure that all your abilities to navigate nonsense didn't come from your ability?
I do.
navigating
That's what I'm about to
nonsense at
say.
West Point?
But, people don't think of West Point and they're like, we're going to pay to educate these people to learn to navigate nonsense. They say,
Yeah.
this isn't nonsense, this is important, and these people are going to thrive in that environment. But, because, they want your bed made and everything clean and all that shit. I would buy a blanket, and I made my bed 4 times every year. Once every time I'd come back, and I would sleep with a blanket over the bed. And, you had to wear a tie every day. and I would.
So you wouldn't even get in the covers.
Fuck no.
Because you just.
I would sleep on top of
You
it.
didn't want to deal with.
Yeah, and I would spread it out.
And then you just make it.
I spread it out in the morning, and we had to wear a tie every day to class, right?
Right.
So I tied my tie. I still don't know how to tie a tie.
Yeah. You tied it and then you just loosen it and then
Yeah.
pull it off and then put
I
it back.
tied my tie four times in
4
4 years. The first day of class, I would tie my tie.
When we lived together for a year at the end of my med school, and I had to tie.
That was my best year ever. It was so much
I
fun.
was like, you don't know how to tie a tie.
But so like when I see a bullshit fucking like thing I have to do for taxes or accounting, right?
You know that microphone is right next to that bag. That's all I-
Yeah, hey, we're on our third drink. Now you know we're about to get to gold.
That's part of the fun of listening
By the
to
way,
our show.
Timmy is an
I am a
Entrepreneur
listener.
Drinks
I am a
listener,
listener.
and he hates the technical difficulties. So I think
It's technical details, sir.
yeah, but that is what I think makes this show is that
Right.
we'd be having this conversation whether we're recording or not. I need some tequila, Ryan. So do you. I'm not going to take all of it. All right, we're going to end this show with...
Well, we gotta wait for Dave to get back.
all right. Should we cut out these delays? So, Mike, Timmy agrees that of all the shenanigans and of all the fucking bad audio, everything, there is, in every show we've made, there's 10 minutes of fucking
Gold. Yeah.
fucking...
That's what I said.
Well, I appreciate that.
I was describing the show to my dad, and I said, there's 10 minutes of really good information, and it's just bookended by 50 minutes of nonsense.
You know, I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult though, because I'll be honest.
My point was like,
I mean-
why not just do a little editing and get the good
No,
stuff?
because
Well, because a little editing is.
Timmy's like, if you
Alright,
did an
there's
hour
some
of
VA to do
editing,
it.
he's like, if you do an hour of editing, you'd have a great podcast. And
Hey,
I'm a doctor.
Timmy,
and I would listen to it.
Pay a VA to do it. You could get some VA.
No,
I don't
that
think
is, that is
they don't
something
get
you
the
need,
sense of
you
humor.
need skill to do.
It's a pain in the
No,
ass.
just tell them to cut out the.
Editing.
If
Editing's
you hear
a-
us saying, "Are we on? Are we on?" Cut that part out. That's
No,
all.
Timmy's like, just send it.
Yeah, I mean it's easy to chop off the beginning.
He's like,
to the
spend
end.
an hour editing, and it
But
would be a
going
great
in-
podcast.
oh,
I'm like,
yeah,
why'd I
you-
have to spend an hour editing? I could be doing deals.
Well, you're gonna
Yeah.
spend 2 minutes
spend about
editing
4
for
hours.
every
What
1
about
minute
the-
you
What
record.
about the millions of dollars of capital this podcast is bringing in? It's not worth it.
Yeah, Harry's Razors hasn't contacted us yet.
We're still waiting on that call.
We're still waiting on that call from Harry's.
But no, but maybe Harry's is looking for a little more polished product. That's my
Anybody
point.
who wants
I
us
don't
to
know.
like edit this,
Yeah.
I was like, as far as like, fuck it. I don't know if I want to. When you're driving in your car, you're really gonna let the fucking. When we're learning to go live. Like, are we on? Are we on?
Right,
I mean, you're driving, dude. Like, fuck.
right.
It's not that big a deal.
And to be fair, it's kind of like the first time you have sex. You know, are we doing it right? I don't know.
Awkward.
Yeah,
We're trying.
Right.
We're doing our best.
We're doing our
Exactly. We're
best.
All
putting.
right. Is there a parallel between the Puritan work ethic and this college bullshit? I think there is.
Okay, let's hear it. I'm gonna hear
Yeah,
the
let's
theory.
see your point.
Yeah, absolutely.
You go first,
Yeah, so
buddy.
you haven't really given us much
Because-
input on your.
Oh yeah, what's your opinion on Puritan work ethic? I think we all know if you listen to the show, but go ahead.
Bullshit.
But again, it's an ironic statement. If you know Jimmy Freeland, this asshole gets up at 5 o'clock every day. Why? You don't have a job.
Not anymore.
You don't?
Well, I get up.
You still
to, like,
get up early.
I get up to read. I get up to do shit I want to do.
I understand,
Yeah,
but
you
you
wanna
have
do it,
a
but still
Puritan
work.
work ethic. That's
What's
my
that?
point. You have a Puritan work ethic.
No.
You're sitting
What time
here
do you wake up
talking
on
about-
average, Jimmy?
Like when I was a fucking employee,
Not-
like 4 in the morning.
Now though, on average.
6 o'clock. But you got. I have 4 kids.
When was the last time
Right.
you woke up at noon and smoked a bowl?
I've
Never in your life.
Yeah, never.
You have a Puritan work ethic.
No, just because you don't smoke weed doesn't mean you have a Puritan
I know.
work ethic.
I'm just saying that you and I were raised the same way, and whether you like it or not, you sort of have a Puritan.
Right. So what time do your kids wake up? Like 7:30?
6:30. So I want to have a solid
Half hour or so
fucking me time.
before they get up,
Yeah.
and then how?
You know, maybe I get a quick poke.
right.
Misses.
Whatever.
Right.
I'm sure there's a lot of Tuesday morning poking.
Yeah.
Dude,
The old
when
6
you're-
a.m.
When you're married with 4 kids, it's the randomness
Right.
that keeps it fresh.
Keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I'll fucking wake up early because I like waking up early. Like I like
Mike's the same way. He
I
likes to
like
get up
living.
early.
I like being conscious. So I'll read for an hour, but the Puritan work ethic should be like you should be. 200 years ago, it should be like, well, you should be fucking farming right now. You shouldn't be reading. and then, or it should be like you should be out at your fucking job if you're up. Like reading for fucking leisure is bullshit.
Yeah, but how many of the books do you consider like just leisure? Actually, like nonfiction. How many nonfiction books have you read in the past?
Were you reading Harry Potter
2
this
years?
morning?
No.
Yeah,
So you're reading educational type material, stuff that's entertaining.
Yeah, so I could argue that
Well,
that
I'm
is.
entertained by fucking books about entrepreneurship.
Yeah, but see, I could argue. Yeah,
I
his
don't
argument
enjoy
is
nonfiction.
correct, though. His argument is correct that you're reading for education, which is essentially. I mean, that's working. That's educational.
Do you deduct those books from your taxes?
Everything I have on iTunes is on a business card. So
Well, why do you deduct that book? Because it's related to your work.
Right,
If
but
you get audited, that's what you're going to say.
So here's what
I can't say it on the air.
people loved what I said about health insurance. But so here's what
I think your interpretation of the term Puritan work ethic is shading this argument. Because I would argue that you have a Puritan work ethic. You're a hardworking guy. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that I don't think that the Puritan work ethic means be stupid and drive your head into the post. Like
no,
just
but
keep
that's
doing
what I think the Puritan work ethic does say. It says fucking farm your farm as hard as you possibly can. Is like it's.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
the
not
Puritan
talking about
work
the
ethic.
actual Puritan.
It's
I
a
guess.
where it's a
Yeah, see,
welfare-
I'm interpreting it in modern society,
Right,
like
right.
that we
In
are.
modern
Are you a hard
society-
worker or are you not a hard worker?
Right.
That's
No,
what
the Puritan work
Like,
ethic
I'm
in
not
modern
fucking
society is a Will Ferrell sketch of I drive a Ford Taurus. I'm a manager. You will respect me.
I can lift 100 pounds straight up over my head.
Yes.
Yeah, you will respect
That
me.
is the Puritan work ethic. Wait, let me ask you guys. Like when me and Bob started, it was hard for me not to be like, we're doing something right now. You know, we're actually. You know, I could look my wife in the eye and say I'm actually doing something right now. Like
It's
it
hard
was.
for you to do that?
Yeah, it was really hard.
What do you mean by that?
Dude, I work like 12-hour days. I don't know what you're talking about. At least.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
So I'd be like on my couch and I'd be reading. I'd be.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But I wasn't in. And now, granted, I was in medical sales. I wasn't
Hey,
on a
Ray.
sales call. Big Ray.
Are you guys still drinking?
Yeah.
What the shit?
Welcome to the party. I guess.
You guys drinking? Are you still
Big
recording?
Ray, we're
Yeah,
talking
see,
about the
we're still
Puritan
talking
work
about
ethic.
the Puritan work ethic.
The what?
The Puritan work ethic.
Because I think the Puritan work ethic is
This being recorded?
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Oh,
like
shit.
it's like Rudy. It's like look at me. I work so hard. Oh my god.
Oh my
like
God,
who gives a
you
shit
work
if
so
I?
hard.
Who gives a shit? The government steals 40% from me.
Oh my
Like-
god. With Trump, it's all being changed, though, isn't
It's
it?
getting better, dude. It's getting better. I'll say
You
that.
think anybody will even
We're going to
agree
lose
with
all
this?
of our deductions
Correct.
now.
Oh, no.
We're going to lose all
From
the
your
deductions.
personal,
Except
not your
for real
business.
estate.
It's all
Yeah.
personal.
Oh, it's all personal?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
He's cutting the personal.
What did Ray say?
I don't
real
watch the
estate.
news.
Except for real estate,
Except-
right?
he takes
get
care of his
an
own,
interest.
real estate, yeah.
He takes care of his own.
That's right. He's a real estate guy. What do you expect? Is that
How many
interest
personal
there?
deductions
Yeah.
really are there anymore if you're not an entrepreneur? Like, what do you deduct your
Oh,
kids?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Your house?
They're
Your
talking
house
about
payments?
401k won't be deducted anymore.
Oh, really?
That would be a game
That's
changer.
bullshit there.
No, I mean more people would get driven to our side if that happened.
Yeah.
I agree. I think you think
Everyone
that's
in
his
America
plan?
would have an LLC.
So then your
Yeah,
question about whether or not the bubble is real
Yes,
or
sir.
whatever, if more people are
Yeah.
pushed into investing in real estate, keep buying.
Good
And
Well, until Trump gets beat in the next election and then they change the tax code again. And then
No, they gonna beat him.
Here's another.
They'll
Well,
kick ass.
why aren't you guys paying the higher
I'm
prices?
telling you, man.
Why aren't you guys paying higher prices if you know you can get a higher
Yeah.
back end?
Say that
So-
again?
Why aren't if you guys know you can get a higher back end, if you know the market's hot, why aren't you?
That was a quantum leap in subject, by the way.
I don't know.
You done-
This is
we're
what
done
happens
with
on
it?
Entrepreneur Drinks.
It's all right.
Well, Timmy will find us a fucking VA to actually edit this shit. And fucking,
Yeah, take the good shit
Timmy,
out.
you're
Yeah.
a surgeon. You can edit it.
yeah,
High schooler to edit this. I
Is he
mean,
a surgeon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
get some
So
high school
wait a
kid.
minute.
yeah.
Because
watch
Timmy
one
Rick.
for know it.
How's your asshole doing? He'll give you a colonoscopy.
He'll do it
We'll
right
do
now.
an on-air colonoscopy.
Oh my
The
god.
old prostate.
I have one scheduled next month, actually.
You should. Timmy can knock it out right now.
I think think I have to sit on a shitter for about 24 hours. That's my problem.
Oh, man.
All right, so why aren't you guys paying higher prices if you know the market's hot and you know you can find the next sucker?
So why aren't you paying
We're
higher
cheap
prices?
bastards.
Me?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I'm a buy and hold guy.
Okay, so you got different models. So why aren't you paying?
He's a buy and
I'm
hold.
way more buy and hold than he is. Again, this is like a 20-year plan for me. So it's all about entry point, and then I'm not going to exit for a long, long time. So if I overpay for a property, then it screws me for 20 years. I'm not going to sell
Or
this
it doesn't matter for 20 years. Think about that.
Well, if the
Yeah,
rent's going
are you
This is
buying
our
for
buyer's
appreciation,
market.
or are you buying for cash flow, or are you buying for both?
Cash,
Cash flow.
everything cash flow.
But I gotta-
Cash flow.
but I
So
gotta-
what do you give a
But
shit
I got to
about?
appraise higher than what I bought it for and put in so I can get my
Because he
cash.
still deals with bankers.
So you're trying to get all your money back.
Yeah, we,
Right.
Yeah.
Which is
we try
fair.
to build in our equity and get everything.
I mean, you're right. I could buy 5
Are
more
you guys
properties this
together?
year at a higher
Yeah.
price.
Okay.
Sexually
and still,
too, right?
And still cash flow.
Huh?
Sexually
Or,
as well.
again, I could just, if I think it's a bubble,
It's more than
I
you
could
know,
just sit on
Jimmy.
the sidelines for 18 months and we both still have jobs. We're going to be fine.
So
So
And
Timmy
then when
Ray
the
was
market
around
crashes,
for the
I can buy
crash,
10.
dude. He'd be a good guy to talk to.
I went through the crash. It sucked.
So you're the better
You know, see,
person.
he has a lot of designer shit on. You know what I'm saying?
He's
Yeah.
Sporting,
He loves
Under
Under
Armour.
Armour, sponsored by Under Armour.
Oh,
So
I like my
you're a
son,
better person
actually.
to ask because what we were talking about is the St. Louis market's going up. Is there real growth in St. Louis or is this a
Dude,
bubble?
I'm feeling paranoid about 2003,
Yeah.
2005. What I'm feeling, but everybody keeps buying more.
But
More
there's
stuff.
there's real tech growth in St. Louis and stuff like that. Do you buy that? Do you think it's real?
I don't know, man. Right now, it's like our strategy is think about what the listing price is at 10,000. It's like
that
people
really
pay
is
it.
our strategy right now.
That's
People
right
pay
now.
that shit.
Whatever we
It's
think
crazy.
it's worth,
But
just
why
add
is that
10,000.
translating
Yeah, but
into
it-
you guys paying more?
Because we can't get stuck with stuff.
Yeah,
Well-
our business, it doesn't mean that we can pay
Yeah, we're not-
10,000 more to then hopefully charge.
We're not.
10,000 more.
Yeah, we're not.
We're only going to pay what we're going to pay for.
Yeah.
It has to still be a deal for
I mean, the
us.
other question is like, so
I respect that discipline.
Right, you
So-
have to have that
So
discipline.
Jimmy and I have 5 properties that are pretty well matured, and we've had them for years. Should we sell all those right now? I mean, is now the
I
time?
don't know. You like the cash flow or
No,
what's the
they
deal?
don't cash.
They're not that good.
Get rid of them.
Well,
Right.
I
I'm
mean,
telling you.
I'd imagine
So-
a general surgeon has a pretty decent income.
So that's the problem.
So
for
you're
me
going
is
to
I
offset
hate-
a lot of your taxes by having real estate that you can
Right.
depreciate and
So
you
that's
can
what I
invest.
use
So the
it all
correct-
for right now.
Yeah, the
So
correct
I don't-
answer is hold it for 27.5 years.
Yeah,
Once
right.
it's fully depreciated,
Right.
then sell it.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
at that
care.
point you have
But I'm not an
bullshit. Your
accountant.
basis
Where-
is at
Where
zero.
am I-
Where I'm
sell.
at right now is I don't
Sell,
care about
dude.
cash flow at all. Like
I
all
talk
I want
about
to do
it.
is negate my gain.
Okay.
And so everything for me
Negate your
is
gains.
how negative can I get my K1? That's what
Right.
it's all about.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
So I just
Oh, yeah.
invest, and I want this huge negative K1 at the end of the year to negate all my
Of course.
all my.
Well, then I'll
W2
tell you what. We've
1099.
got some properties we can sell you. It's
I
a little overpriced. But I'll tell you what.
Okay, it'll be real red.
We're
I got
gonna-
two indoors. I'll sell you tomorrow, baby. They're close to Kings Highway and Natural Bridge.
We can
It's a
fuck
good-
that
area's
K1
hot
up.
right now.
Yeah, it's hot, right?
Yeah.
Lobby packing when you go up there.
The gun barrels are hot up there.
Mm.
I mean, you guys hard money lend?
Starting
So we're
to.
starting to.
Start to, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Timmy, I think you have to explore hard money lending as well.
I mean, hard money can be a great thing if it's the right
Yeah.
deal.
I
Wait
would go
2
get a line of
months.
credit and I
Bill-
would hard money lend.
But
Bill and I
Yeah,
are
that's great.
designing a course on it, so give us a couple months and we'll send you a link for the course.
And it'll be a $10,000 payment
Yeah,
for the course.
Yeah.
No,
That's
$997.
what I-
$997.
$997.
Yeah, you can write it
You know,
off.
there's this weird thing. I have never paid for a course. There's this big building that has
Well, that's
free
a problem.
books. You just take the book out. You
Yeah,
read it.
well-
Now that I 110, I
Yeah, but
100
why would you?
Timmy, I 110% disagree with you. Me and Bob spent 40 grand on coaching last year, and we've doubled.
Oh, wow.
We've
Good
doubled.
for you.
That was been a
But
200%
it,
investment.
Time out. I had to go pee. But you never paid for a course except for
The
how many years of
$43,000
education?
a year
Yeah,
of
that's very good.
education?
The Army paid for that. But that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. Yeah. If I was trying to quit and do real estate tomorrow, I'd probably do
Yeah.
a course. You're right.
So, of some sort, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like coaching's a
I'd be
great
all in.
thing.
Yeah, you're
Me and Bob we buy
That's a way to
something
hold your hand.
educational
To
wise
learn
every
something's
quarter.
gonna be great.
So what book are you reading now, Jimmy?
The Great Deformation.
I just bought
Turns
the
out
audio
the
book, I'll
whole-
share it with you.
That's
Tell me the story.
36
The
hours
crash
long,
in
but-
08 was a fucking scam. It was just the Wall Street people and the people who bought
There we go with money.
the
Right.
people who bought the CDOs. They just wanted. They had to create a panic to get bailed out.
That makes sense. What was that one movie they called The Big,
Big
Short?
Short.
Did you watch that?
I'm listening
Yeah.
to the Fed
So
Fed
the-
Up right now. The audio
You
Fed
think that's
Up.
real?
Yeah.
I'm listening to
What's-
that one right
I
now.
think that was real.
No, I don't think ATMs would have stopped spitting out cash. I don't think Main Street would have been affected by Wall Street.
Okay.
And I do. We've talked about the show a few times, but like, I don't think.
Here's the book here, Ray.
I don't think the central planners, all their economic system affects your regular jerk off. To be honest, with
Podcast, you mean?
you. Yeah, I mean exactly us. I think they deal with funny money, and we actually like trade with each other.
Do shit, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
their
it's
money's
called The
just
Renegade
funny
History of the
money.
United
Sure.
States. Is that the name of the book?
Yeah, that book
How far into it are you? About halfway yet? Or?
I read it like 3 years ago.
Oh, you did? So
And
you're
I-
reading it again?
You're rereading it.
No, the guy Thaddeus Russell, the author, has now like started a podcast. He's starting to get big.
Oh, cool.
So,
Yeah, I think that Dad was reading an article about the Trump tax plan, and the reality is that the only people that actually pay taxes in that way, like this bracket, whatever, is the middle class.
Right.
If you move beyond the middle class, if you become an entrepreneur or whatever, if the tax code changes, you'll just change the way you do it.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna just move your money this way.
You'll
or that
find
way.
a way. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's like the cash flow quadrant,
Yeah,
Rich Dad
yeah,
book,
Rich
where it's
Dad.
like
That's very rich.
EBIS, you know?
You
It's,
just find a way
So
to
is
put your
that
money
true?
in.
So you think his
know.
new tax plan he just introduced yesterday, right? And
Right.
You think it's going to help middle class, or what do you think?
here's
It's
what I
gonna help
think.
anybody.
I think
I think-
one asshole deciding something cannot affect 340 million human beings. It's called the fatal conceit.
If you're a
Assholes
guy,
like us will like watch. Okay, what are you going to do? Okay.
right.
But if you're just going to sit and live in blinders, you're always going to get fucked your whole life. That is the most profound statement.
I
we've
don't
ever
think
made on it.
What do you think?
anything that he's going to do is going to help anybody. I mean,
Really?
I'm sure it'll screw some people. It might help some people and screw some people, but all together it's going to be a wash. And then people who are kind of above the
Ray,
fray
I
will find
hate it
a
when
way.
a politician says, I'm going to invest in you. So it's like, I'm going to steal your money. I'm going to pile it. I'm going to take my cut just to fucking
Screw it.
pay for hookers or, blow, whatever I need to do. And whatever's left over, I'm going to send back to you to invest in you.
Yeah.
And this is what I hate about Hillary, because she's like, I'm going to invest in middle class. And so I hated them both, but I really hated her. And so it's like, well, wait a minute. Why can't you let that asshole keep his own money and invest on what he thinks he should invest in? Like, wouldn't that make a lot more sense? So whenever I hear a politician, Republican or Democrat, say, I'm going to invest in you, I'm like, well, thanks, asshole. Let me keep my own shit.
Let me
because
bend
I'm
over.
I'm a much better investor than you.
Redistribution of wealth. We all know that.
Right.
I mean, it's,
But when they call it redistribution of wealth. Call it that I love Karl Marx and I love communism, but do not call it investing
Why not?
because it's bullshit.
It's not investing.
well, they're not talking to you, Jimmy.
Because there's a fee for their blow and hookers and bullshit, and the only thing they invest is what's left
It's
over.
called overhead, I think.
Yeah.
that's right.
Ultimately, if you start the day
It's called
by
government.
only having money that you've taken from someone else, how can you say you're investing in anything, right? What are you investing?
You
You're
have no
investing
skin in
somebody
the game.
else's money, and you're
Oh.
picking where to put it. But
Why
they
not let
start with
that
$0
asshole with his money
right?
invest for himself?
Leave it alone.
It will definitely be interesting for what's happening right now.
What are your thoughts on what's happening right
Yeah,
now?
the market.
Because we're talking about how hot it is.
I
That's
think-
crazy.
So these guys are long-term buy and hold guys in South City, and they got no inventory.
But they're too cheap
Yeah,
to buy our
but
stuff.
They have
They
inventory.
gotta have inventory. How can they invest if they don't have inventory?
No, they don't have any inventory to buy. They're looking
They
to
don't-
buy.
they
right
wanna
now.
buy.
That's what he's saying.
How many do you
They're looking
buy?
to buy. They're
We're in
Nine.
April.
Sorry.
How many more houses do you guys want to buy? The rest of you.
We'd probably buy. I mean, we would probably do one a month if there was a good deal.
Well, I'm up.
But the,
All South Cities, that's all you're doing?
Why will you guys not expand your reach?
well, I
Like
mean,
Imperial.
You should
Yeah.
look at.
They're only in 2 zips right now.
You
It's
should,
just like
you should
that-
look at
that-
63114. That's a good area to invest.
We're all in one. Right now, we're all in 139 and 109.
You should also look in
That's a great area.
63121,
Awesome. 114
See, that's
is
the
good.
thing.
631.
again, our strategy is long term. Those
Well,
that
I
do think your
holds
guys-
value. It
I do think your guys' fix
Oh.
is you guys have to create relationships with wholesalers. You guys
I'm
have
telling you,
to.
114 is where you want to be because that's where the blue collar folks who have jobs will pay the rent.
We got 63074. Was that St. Anne, Breckenridge Hills areas?
74 is Hazelwood, isn't it?
I've never done anything outside like
630.
the city too. The city, it's like you apply for an occupant. It's just a lot easier in the city. In the county, it's like, oh, you gotta do this, this, this. The city's like, paint your foundation and I'll give you your occupancy permit.
Yeah.
It's just
I
like
don't
a
think
Lease
so.
option it. Fuck.
What's to do with
I mean, that's such a left turn.
Yeah,
It's a
but to
different
lease
model.
Yeah.
to lease it, you still have to have your occupancy.
And our
permit.
tenants are like,
No, you don't.
To
Our-
lease- to
Grant-
somebody-
lease-
Grant-
Responsibility.
Yeah, our
Grant-
model is just totally different. We get, we charge high-end premium rent, and we do it's nicer stuff. So
like, yeah,
it's
we
just
have
a very different model.
a 2-1 that we're getting $1,350 a month. 2 beds,
Yeah.
1 bath. We're getting.
How many do you carry, Ray? How many houses?
I have 14 right now.
But they're multis, right?
3 multis. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like, where can you find that? Where else can you
How's
find that?
that? Is somebody coming in here? Cops coming in.
They might have found Dave's buddy.
Oh
Yeah, so we solved all the problems.
How long have we been going? No one's listening still?
An hour
Anybody
and 10
leave?
minutes.
Oh,
Is
fuck,
anybody
yeah.
listening?
That's fine.
No, it's not live.
Nobody's listening. Okay.
No, we're not
Where
live
the
this
hell's
week.
Bob at, man? Where's
He's
Bob?
moving, dude. This asshole is having the
Where's he
best
moving?
year of his life. We sold his house in Soulard,
Okay.
and then he's moving across the street to a long-term
Across
rental
the
in
street?
Soulard. Yeah,
For what?
A rental?
yeah.
Why?
Because Bob is gonna go live his hippie existence like remote and shit.
Well, that's cool. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude, I think, so one of the guys I
But this
love.
asshole's doing really well financially, and like we could have been doing deals the last 2 days, and he's like, "Hey, I'm shutting it down for 2 days to move," and I'm like, I text him today, "Hey, like you hired somebody to move you, right?" He's like, "No." I was like, "You're doing well right now. Like, what the fuck, dude? You just cost us 2 days of fucking building the empire, so you could fucking move your fucking
Move
gold
yourself.
fish pickup money." Like, what the fuck, dude?
Hey, if that's what he wants to do, that's his priority, though.
Yeah.
Man.
What does he want to do? Does he want to go to like music festivals and just travel around the world and?
So he's still in Soulard then?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
So
don't know,
one
you'd
of-
have to ask Bob what he wants to
So
do.
I think Bob would have been a better person to be involved in the Puritan work ethic thing because
Oh,
like,
because he disdains it.
That
wow.
doesn't
Well,
sound
yeah.
like it.
And Bob doesn't have 4 kids and get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day. Like I just don't think that your argument holds water when you're like Puritan work ethic is stupid.
It's stupid.
But I got up really early today.
Well, let's
I
go
worked
through
all
my day today. Let's go through my day today.
All right,
Let's hear it.
Let's
I
hear it,
woke
baby.
up, I think around at 6. I went down and read. The booger eaters woke up
Very
at
Puritan of
6:30.
you. Your 4 kids, very Puritan
Yeah.
of you.
I mean, but my wife, I
It's
love.
called a
I
condom.
just-
Am I right?
We're Catholic now.
How old are your kids, man?
6, 5, 2, and 1.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
they're young.
I mean, I love my wife. I just love getting after it. I can't, I could write a book about it. And so, the booger eaters wake up around 6:30. I got my read on. I'm still reading, but they're fucking around with me, jumping on me, all kinds of shit. Like 7:30, it's time to drive Chalk 1. Chalk 1 is the 6 and 5.
Yeah.
Chalk 1, I
To
drive them
school?
to school, and then you don't like this book, Gary Keller, but the one thing.
Oh, I actually listened to it.
So to give my wife a
Read
salad,
it.
like I like my time driving the kids to school. So I drop the kids off at 7:30 and I'm back by like 7:50, and then I got to drop the 2-year-old off at Mommy's Day Out at like probably like I got 40 minutes to get my one thing done. So I just burn through the most important thing I got to do in that day. And if it's not done in 4:30 or in 40 minutes, I just fucked it up. So you got to break things down and shit you can knock out. Then I drop Tommy
So
Trouble.
what was your one thing today that you were able to knock out in 40 minutes?
We're building our Podio, like
Okay.
you guys. So I talked to the Podio consultant. I was like, hey, this is what
Using
we're gonna do.
Brandilyn?
Yeah, you guys use
we're
Brandilyn
using it
too?
too. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
Brandilyn is
she's-
the shit.
Brandilyn's awesome, man. Yeah.
We're gonna, we need to promote her as much as we can.
She's nice.
She's awesome, and so
We'll ask Brandilyn, and then we'll.
she should be on Entrepreneur Drinks.
We'll put. Well, I don't know if she's interested in that, but we'll put a
Is she
link to her.
local?
No.
Yeah, she's in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
She Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Shit, the
She's helping us
flag
build
on.
out our KPIs right now. So we have it's going to be
So do
pretty
you
cool.
guys hire her as like an ongoing consultant? Because she gave us a flat fee to build our shit.
It's all flat fee stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're just project at a time with her, really. And then
That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Like, whenever we need something that, me and Mike could do it, but it'd take us
Dude, she's a pro.
2
This is-
weeks. It's
This
just
is what
hire
we're
her
talking
to
about.
do
The
it.
Puritan
Right.
work ethic would say, you guys grind it out. You fucking do it.
No, we'll hire her to do it because she'll do it in 1/10 of the
She's
amount of
the
time.
so no. Here's an
And she's not
example.
really. It's worth it.
It's
It's a
CRM.
CRM.
More ice.
Customer
man.
Just a
relationship
customer
management
relationship.
system.
Yeah, it's just
One
a,
more.
it's everything.
just a place to track
it's
all your
systematized.
leads.
Yeah, I got to get going in probably 5 minutes or so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too.
Okay,
All right, so what's your day?
So I
Keep
knocked
going,
out.
keep going.
I knocked out my one thing.
So you talked to Brandilyn for 40 minutes?
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I dropped off Tommy Trouble,
Okay.
and then while I was driving, I took my energy drink.
Sodas left? Or we
Yeah, that soda water's right there.
No, he was Coke.
Oh.
And Coke?
There's Coke over there. I'll grab you one.
And so then I worked out for 90 minutes, got my swole on, and the whole time I'm texting.
You worked out at
fucking-
home, or where'd you work out?
Yeah, I got like a whole CrossFit
Where do you
wow.
go?
thing in my garage.
In your house?
In my
Are
garage.
you listening to like audiobooks or
Yeah, I
you
was
just like
listening
playing
to
like heavy metal?
podcasts. Yeah, I was listening to podcasts and audiobooks.
Nice.
Holy
Yeah, I-
shit, man. That guy's a stud, isn't he? Look at him. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That's why I have 4 kids.
I want to be like you
That's
when
why I
I
have
grow
4
up, man.
kids.
That's why I'm older.
So, and
So
then
what?
and then
by
what?
this time it's what, 10:30 in the morning?
Probably like 11.
11?
'Cause then there's some phone calls and some bullshit to get done.
Okay.
And then, but I mean, I still haven't showered. I still haven't done anything. And then I had like my list of shit to do, and I just knocked it out 30 minutes at a time.
Okay.
And then I'll take a 15-minute break to I'll go swim in my pool. I'll go fuck around. But the whole day, it's knocking shit out 30 minutes at a time. And I just don't think the Puritans would have liked it. I
would
didn't
think-
shower till
I would think that.
I didn't shower till 3:30 today.
I think my point also, Jimmy, is that if you weren't taught to work hard when you were a young man, that you wouldn't be able to get all that stuff done in one day. Whether you like
No,
it or
our
not.
dad taught us to work hard by putting his boot swiftly up our ass.
I understand.
I
you
didn't
go.
need the teachers in
And then when
between
you
us
were-
and dad.
And then, okay. I'm not arguing about I'm not arguing about whether you need to go to Westwood. I'm saying when you were 10 years old, your dad putting his boot up your ass, teaching you to work.
But that would have
hard.
been like being lazy in baseball too. He would have been like, "Fuck you!
I
That's
agree.
not how you do shit."
I agree, but ultimately in the back of your head, you have this little voice that says, "Work hard, work hard, work hard." And now that you're an
No,
adult,
it's not work hard, work hard, work hard. It's make shit happen, make shit happen, make shit happen.
whatever. Now that you're an adult, it's become nuanced. But you need to teach young people.
But
to
people
work
would
hard
walk.
first.
You guys walked into our house yesterday. I had a beard. Like I don't get haircuts. Like
But
I was
you're-
in a
You're
Cardinals
equating,
t-shirt.
you're equating wearing a 3-piece suit with working hard.
That is the myth Entrepreneur Drinks needs to dispel. That is
Yeah,
what I want to
absolutely. There's no question about that. But what are you going to teach Bubba? Are you going to teach him to work hard? Are you going to teach him? At some point you got to tell him just work hard, and the rest will work out. And then when you're 20, you can start to understand what that means.
I'm going to say work hard when nobody's looking, which means not at school, which maybe means in sports.
So you're going to intentionally tell him not to do well in school? Seems like a bad plan. We'll see how that works out.
Your wife doesn't handle it.
Let's just see what your wife says.
Exactly.
I think that may be
I think putting
out of your control.
I think putting
Maybe they
growing
like school,
boys
you never
into
know.
a brick and mortar building between the hours of 8 and 3 is tough. I do not think the male psyche was designed for that.
I agree.
Yeah, probably right.
That's why you get 2 hours of football.
All right, let's kill it, have another drink, and then close it.
Another day.
Let's kill the podcast and go drink.
Are we done?
Yeah.
How long have we been having one?
We're wrapping it up, guys. Thanks
I-
for listening.
Should we knock it out?
See you next time.
We should kill it at 45 hours. 45 minutes.
45 hours?
Holy
For
shit.
listening to the Entrepreneur Drinks podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach a wider audience. We would also appreciate if you left us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Thanks for your support, and we hope that you learned something, had a few laughs, or at very least was entertained by our shenanigans. We had fun, and we hope you did too. Until next time, cheers.